to my channel. So today I will be showing you guys a very requested video, how to highlight and contour. For some people it can be a very tricky thing to do, especially if you're a beginner. So I just wanted to make this video and show you some tips and tricks on how to highlight and contour. So yes, let's go ahead and get started. My eyes are already done. So the first thing that you would do is to apply your foundation. I don't have anything right now, just my moisturizer. You would want to have to apply, step by step, first your primer. So let's go ahead and do that. The primer is just going to make your foundation last a lot longer and just go in smoothly. And this one that I have, which I did mention in my favorites video, and if you're interested in checking that video out, I will leave the link below in the description box. So this one is just a pore refiner primer. It will minimize the look of your pores. It's a very good primer. So all you want to do is apply just a little bit, and just apply where you think you have the most, where your pores are more visible. So for me, it's around this area and my nose. And a little bit on my chin. And you just want to make sure that you blend it in. Okay, there are two tools that you can use to apply your foundation. One is the brush or your beauty blender. For me, I prefer to use a beauty blender just because I feel like it applies your foundation a lot smoother, and it just makes it more flawless rather than a brush. I feel like typically when I used to use it, it would leave streaks in my foundation, and I didn't like that. So for the foundation that I will be using today is the Born This Way foundation by Too Faced. And the color I have is warm beige. So you just apply with this stuff, a little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna put it in the back of my hand. And you just wanna dot it all over your face. Go ahead and blend away. You want to make sure that when you do your foundation, you are also bringing it down to your neck, because you don't want to look like you have a mask. You want to make sure it goes in flawlessly and going down your neck just like that. A little bit, in your ear. And this way it ensures that you don't have two different skin tones going on. Okay, so now for the fun part, which is my favorite when I'm using the Born This Way concealer in the shade Light Medium, and it looks just like that. You just apply a little bit. Typically when I go for a very full face, I put a lot. I'm a very heavy-handed, but you want to make sure that you bring the triangle, just like that, just so that it covers completely your dark circles if you have any. And typically, guys, I do sometimes when I want to be fancy and put it all up in my face, I do color correcting with the orange color before I put in my foundation. So if you guys are interested in seeing a video about color correcting, how to apply it, where to apply it, what each color is for, what you can use it for, just leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to make that video for you and explain it into more details. So yes, so this is where you want to put your concealer. Just a triangle underneath your eyes. You put a little bit in your forehead, down your nose, and in your chin, and it will brighten up those areas. And then you want to go ahead and make sure you are blending. Just like that. And now the other side. And this will, that look, for example, like Kim Kardashian, her face, when you see her in pictures, this area is always bright. This is what they do to, her makeup artist does to her, just to ensure to bring these areas out. That's why it's the highlighting. That's what the highlighting does. It makes you look more awake. Just very flawless. And then now your forehead. Your nose. And excuse my ugly expressions that I make, but girl's gotta do what she's gotta do. Okay, so I'm all done with the blending of my concealer. Now, the next step is you want to make sure you set the concealer with some kind of powder. That way your concealer's not creasing underneath your eyes and just all over the place. Especially with this hot weather here in Florida, you want to make sure that you set your concealer. Otherwise, it's gonna be melting. So the powder that I usually go for is I use the Kat Von D palette, contour palette, and the yellow shade in the middle. That is called Lyric. That I would recommend for you to do before you apply your powder. You want to go over it one more time just to get rid of any creasing. So you just quickly tap, tap, tap back and forth, and then you go in with your powder. Just to avoid any creasing and make sure it stays in. So you will just apply the powder every single area that you applied your concealer. Now the other side, same powder thing, tap, tap, tap before you put in your powder. Because once you put your powder in, there's no going back. So you want to make sure that you do that first and then you apply your powder. Okay, a little bit more, and you want to apply it in your forehead, right where we did that with the concealer, or around the nose and your chin around the mouth. Everywhere that you put that concealer. Just grab any brush, any angle brush, just like that. This is the Wet n Wild. Guys, these brushes are so good, so good. They don't shed, and they're like $3, and you can find it at any drugstore, Walgreens, CVS. You have to try them. So yes, for the contouring, I'm gonna be using the same contouring palette, Shadow Play, which is the shade in the middle, just to go ahead and bronze my face. And then for contour, just to go a little bit deeper and make sure you chisel out those cheeks, I'm gonna go with the darker shade, which is Sombre. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So let's go ahead and use the middle one just to bronze up my face. And what you wanna do is, you wanna go this way right here. Or you can do the fishy face, which that makes it easier for a lot of people. So that way you know where that bone is right there, and that's where you wanna contour. And this will make the illusion of your face skinnier. So you just go ahead and apply. Make sure you blend when you contour. So right here. Next, cheek, fishy face. Blend. Okay. In another areas that you want to bronze up your face, it's right here on your temples. The other side. Okay. And then you also want to make sure, this is up to it's on you if you want to do it or not, but I typically, when I contour, I also do this step, and I also do it right here in my chin, well, in my jawline, I would say. Just put a little bit, just to make that jawline a little more defined. Okay, so you're done bronzing. So now I'm gonna go ahead with the darkest shade over here. Just a little bit. And with the darker shade, I only stop, literally I only do like the back of it. I don't go all the way to my mouth, just right here in the back and blend. Just to define those cheeks a little bit more. Okay. I don't typically contour, guys, when on an everyday basis, just to let you guys know that. This is only when I just go out, if I'm going to a party, if I want to look, you know, just very flawless on an event or something like that. It's time consuming, and you really don't need it to do it every day, unless of course you want to go the extra mile every day. You want to do the same thing that you did with the lighter shade. You want to do the temples. Same thing, same areas. I don't typically do, usually people want to do the temples when you have a larger forehead, and when you put dark, if you contour around the temples, that it makes it smaller. So it's the same thing over here. And I don't typically contour my nose, but some people do. If you, for the sake of the video, since this is a contour and highlight video, I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So you just want to grab any little brush like that. That's what I use. And you want to do the lighter shade that I used before I put on the darker shade. Actually, you know what? You can do this little brush. This is for Eco Tools brush. Just a little bit, not too much, type out the axis. And you just make 2 lines, one here and one on the other side. It's gonna look harsh in the beginning, but then you're gonna obviously blend it in. That's one line. Now the other line on the other side. And then you also want to do the tip of your nose. Okay. See how harsh it looks? You're gonna blend that out. So don't worry, you just blend it all in. And this will give the appearance of you having a snatched nose. Very, very small nose. All these little tricks, huh? And you blend that in. Step would be typically I highlight the top of the cheekbones and then I go in with my blush. But as for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the bottom lash in my eye with my eyeshadow, and then I'll be right back. Hey guys, so we're back. So I was able to finish the bottom lash with my eyeshadow. Let's go ahead and finish. So the next step, like I said before, I'm gonna highlight first, and then I will go in with my blush. And I'm gonna use the same highlighter that I just mentioned. This is by Becca, Champagne Pop. I love this highlighter, guys. Oh my gosh, oh, it's so good. So I'm just gonna use a little brush like this. That is perfect just to highlight on top of your cheekbones. Now you can either spray it with MAC Fix Plus just to make your highlighter even pop even more, but I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it. just like that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I love this. Love, love, love. Just want to highlight your cheekbones, so you know you get that J-Lo highlight glow on your skin. That's what you want to go for, okay? So that's that. Then you want to also do it, put a little bit on the middle of your nose so it doesn't look so muddy. You just put a little bit with your finger like that, and it will make your nose also very nice and highlighted. And then typically you don't have to do this step, but I like to also put it on top of my eyebrows here, just like that, on top of your upper lip. You blend that in very well as well, because the last thing you want is to make it, you know, to look fake. So just blend everything in. That's the key. So now the next step is blush. I also mentioned this one in my favorites video, which like I said before, I will have the link down below in the description box. This is the Illuminoso blush. Ooh, now I can't open it. Looks just like that. Very, very pretty. And I'm just gonna use the same brush that I used for my contour. It doesn't really matter. You can really use any brush. You can even use a stippling brush if you want to. But yes, I'll go ahead and use the same one. Any blush you want. Doesn't really matter. And just put in the apples of your cheeks, and then I also bring it all the way back to my hairline. Just like that. The other side, apples, and then you want to bring it all the way back. Just put a little bit more. And again, I'll blend everything so it doesn't. So it just makes it look. Now another thing that I do, guys, is if you have a problem when you do your contour and it comes down a little bit way too much, you want to make sure you clean that area up just to make your contour a little more chiseled out. So you want to make sure you clean that up. You can use any powder. Let's see, I use sometimes I use even the same palette from the contour palette, and sometimes I use the yellowy tone just with a brush and just to clean that out, or I can even use the pinky peachy one. Either one, I use both. But for today, I'm gonna be using the Laura Mercier powder. This powder is amazing. It's a loose powder, and you just put it on the cap just like that. And you can apply it also with a brush just like that. It's no big deal, but I'm gonna use these little spinny mini sponges. You can get this anywhere too for like $1 or something like that. And you put a little bit just like that, and you go ahead and make sure you clean that area up. You just go like this, clean that area up. Just a little bit more. And you just leave it there, chilling for a minute. And then you go ahead and do the other side. And this will get rid of any of that darker powder that you used for your contour. So this is just another little trick that you can do just in case you're having problems. You just let it sit there for a good minute, Meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this look with my lips. I'm just going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Ashton. Guys, this lipstick is always sold out. It was like a miracle for me to find it at Ulta. A miracle. And I'm the type of person that I don't like to buy, I don't know, makeup online, just because when you look at it on their website, the shade, then you know, it looks completely different on me when I put it on. So I'd rather just swatch it myself, see it in person. So this is the liquid lipsticks that I'm gonna be using. I also recommend that when you use a liquid lipstick that you exfoliate your lips, so that way it doesn't get nasty and balled up and everything. Beautiful color. I love brown shades like this. It just complements me so well. And you can do any kind of color for your lips with this look. You can do a vampy lip, a brown lip, even a nude. Now let's go ahead and take away all of this powder that you have here. All of that will disappear when you brush it, and you'll have that clean look. That's exactly what you want. See, it just goes away. And the last step, guys, is for you to go ahead and make sure that you spray your face once you're done with all of your makeup with the MAC Fix Plus. And this will ensure that your makeup will last. It will stay in place. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna smudge all over the place. That is the worst. So just to ensure that that doesn't happen and avoid that from happening, just use any kind of spray like this. You don't have to necessarily use this one because I know it can be a little pricey, but there's a good alternative. The NYX setting spray, they have a matte one and a glowy one, and those are cheaper alternatives. They also have the Mario Badescu that I also talked about in my July favorites video. That one is amazing too. But either one of those you can use, and you just want to spray your whole entire face just like this. Whew, feels so good. Any powdery feeling off your face, and will just makes it so. This will complete the makeup look, the whole contour and highlight. I hope that this was a little bit helpful for you guys. If you have any recommendations or anything like that, please leave a comment down below. Every single product that I talked about in this video will be also listed. That way you guys, if you're interested, you can go ahead and check it out. And thank you again for all of your love in my first video, and I hope to see you in my next video.